Yes, we did it! Finally, World Watercolour Month, it's over, and I have here for you 31 painting that I want to share and that we created during this month. Now, I want to remind you that my goal for this challenge was not to create a perfect painting, a good painting, or even decent painting, but simply to get to use my supplies, because I don't use watercolor that much, so this was for me a chance to get to use my watercolor. And the reason why I say that is that some of these artwork are really crappy because I had only 1 minute available, and yeah, I still wanted to create. I wanted to focus on being consistent and using my supply. Hello my artsy friends, welcome to my channel. This is the Art of Etta, and here we love art supply. We are addicted to it. We experiment a lot with new art supply, we compare them, and we love mixed media. But today we are here exploring our World Watercolour Month challenge, and in the end of the video I will also show you the state of my watercolor palette. And this is my gouache palette that I move in a little watercolor pan. But let's get started. This was day one, was a sunlit, the prompt, and this is what I came out with. I did a little game of light on a flower. Basically mostly is watercolor, but these are gouache, so whenever I do mixed media, I love the result more. And this is just my style, this is just how it is. Day two was diversion, and here I use mainly watercolor, and I was a little bit of a rush, so you see the result is not perfect. And then I did use a little bit of gouache, not much, and my fine liner and white pen, and I tried to work back and forth on this sketchbook. Day three was raspberry. I love this one, I really love. I use quite a few supply. I use watercolor, I use gouache, I use ink, and I use acrylic marker. So whenever I had time, I try to do mixed media because I just love the result more. Day four was burst, and I thought like of a lightning bursting through the clouds, so I did this one, and also it was quite fast. I love the sky. I don't really love the lights here, but yeah, it's nice to play with it. Sometimes I had to go faster, sometimes I could take longer. Another one that I really love is this one. The top prompt was startle, and I find this image of this frog with really big eyes that it looked like something startled her, and I had to reproduce it as well. Lots of watercolor, gouache, and a pencil as well, and a fine liner and white pen, so there is a good mix of things, and I just love these big eyes. This may be, with the raspberry, one of my favorite painting. Day six, flavor. Here is where I had to start to understand that not every painting was going to be perfect, and sometimes I just had to rush through it. This is all watercolor with a bit of fine liner around. This is another one that I really love, lemon, day 7, and I create all these slices of lemon on this soft pinkish background that I think it works really well. And I use as well the watercolor gouache, some white gel pen in here, and I think that's it, not much more, but the result is really good. Let's go to day 8. mechanism, and I wanted a lot of will to run around, but yeah, I just was short on time. I had to make it fairly quickly. Still, it's not the worst, you will see. That was the time where I really wanted to give up, but I didn't. Day 9, vegetation. I find a beautiful image, and I wanted to do it justice and do a mixed media, but I was short on time. Do that meant to don't do the prompt at all, or taking multiple days just to finish one. I had to remind multiple times to myself my goal, but yeah, it came out like a whimsical forest, but not worst. I'm trying to scare you guys, I think. This is day 10, clutter, very basic, and day 11, element. I was thinking of element of nature, so I chose fire, and I did a background of watercolor, then I add a lot of gouache, and then I also went with some gold ink on top. Yeah, that's cute. Otherworldly, also find a beautiful image, but I didn't have time to do it justice. And if you guys saw the video I posted before to start this challenge, I did make myself ready for this challenge. I did the sketching and washi tape and get ready as much as I could, but still I didn't manage to get through the challenge properly. This was day 13 with valuable, and I just came in my mind a ring, and yeah, very simple. I mostly was working with 1 minute day, and you can see that in here. Day 14, aubergine. It should have been much better if I could give it time, but the choice was doing it or not doing it, so I prefer just go ahead. And this is terrifying. This is day 15, spacious. My favorite painting is actually the last day of this challenge, you guys will see, but I went through a middle of the month where I was doing it just terrible stuff, and I had to be okay with it because my goal was to finish the supply, not to make precious artwork. Now we go to day 16 again, very quickly recycle, and I just made a bunch of beans on a background. Very simple, done. Day 17, distance. This is what I came out with. We move into day 18. I just play with some watercolor. The prompt was immense, so I was planning a sky and ocean with something in between. And I didn't add any purple, but as you notice in most of the pages, there is a lot of smudge, and this is for some washi tape that are very glittery that I had from the past, and I was trying to use them up as well. Almost succeed, but every time they were getting wet and stick to the paper, they will just not just damage the paper but release all this glitter, and that really bothered me. But I was happy that the goal of the challenge wasn't to be perfect, it was just to use my supply. So I use my washi tape, I use my watercolor, and I use some of my gouache. Day 19, envelope. Here I feel like I start to redeem myself a little bit. It was still very quick artwork, but at least I love the design, I love the line, I love a bit of imagination that goes in here, so there is some redemption here. Day 20, olives. Very simple, you can notice. This is for me the worst, day 21, risky. I wanted to tear this page apart, just throw it and give up. Luckily I didn't. Yeah, there is a lot of things going wrong in this painting, but literally it took me not even a minute to finish, and that's all I had for the day. 22, we have a fragment, so pieces of a broken bottle. Actually, this one wasn't planned, it was an accident. I was quite confident that the watercolor was dry, so I just went to close it, or I don't know, to move any smudge like this. But actually I think it was a happy accident. It made the work a bit more interesting. Day 23, local, and here I use watercolor and white pen. Day 24, soft, and I was just thinking of a cloud, so I made some pinkish sky with a cloud in the middle. I love the color combination. This is day 25, we're getting close to the end. The prompt was stitch, and this is what I came up with. 26, bell. The background is all watercolor, but the bell is with entirely gouache, and I don't know why I made such a tiny bell when the topic was bell, but it's okay, it's working. 27, we have a detour. This is watercolor and gouache together, and yeah, not too bad. We have a time, day 28, and this is what I create. Not the best, but it's okay. 29, we have splatter, and I really love this one, how it came out. The background, the black background is completely in watercolor. I did a couple of layer watercolor, and then all the splash, the colorful splash, are gouache and ink. Yeah, I really love the contrast, and I love how it came out. Last set of page, we have a day 31st, where the topic was whistle, and I came with this one. And now the last page, the prompt was impulse, and I decided to just follow my impulse, my instinct, and create a intuitive painting. So I didn't look at any reference picture, I didn't search anything. I just took my mixed media supply and I created, and this is the result. There is a lot going on in here. It's an intuitive painting, so doesn't have really any tangible element apart from leaves in here, and I have a watercolor background. I add on top some also gold watercolor of a recent haul that I did, and I have some acrylic paint. I have some fine liner, jelly roll pen. I have a oil pastel. I have some Neocolor one, color pencil. So there is really a lot going on, and I do love the result. It's vibrant, it's free, and it makes me just feel really, really good. So this was day 31 for me, impulse. And this was my challenge. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, if you took on this challenge, and how it goes for you, and how it went for you, and which one was your goal. This is my watercolor palette. It's a mix of color, a mix of brand, and I focus on using the cheapest supply. These were all dome-like, so they were quite full and have like a dome on top. I managed to use all of them basically, and I really create a dent in the yellow, in the ochre, strangely in the gray. It really goes down a lot, and yeah, I managed to use quite a bit of all of them. Sometimes I will go up and use the good one, especially this indigo of Rosa Gallery. It just, the way it flows, the way it layers is amazing. So sometimes I will just go back and use my Rosa Gallery, but otherwise I focus on my cheaper art supply, and I think I got a good result, honestly. Very happy. I also use my Mia Imig Wash, and yeah, I made a crack on all of them, but especially the white and the yellow. They got used the most, but yeah, very happy that I managed to use my supply. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you at the next video. Bye!